One story, one feeling. Emma doesn't just tell it, she makes you live it. Let's begin. My boyfriend is a rude rapper. I am a famous star who specializes in playing villainous roles. I am besieged by anti-fans on all social media sites. The source of the incident originated from the fact that I and Coach Ram, a top rapper, participated in a dating show. I originally thought he would like innocent and pure idol girls. But who would have thought that his ability to recognize green tea was even more advanced than mine? After a series of collaborations exposing fake girls, we quickly became a hot topic online. Netizens began to enthusiastically ship our couple. They commented, "One is hot-tempered, one is impulsive, a beautiful star and a rapper with a personality, a dramatic combination." Afraid of being accused of relying on him, I try to avoid it. But surprisingly, the famous rapper posted a status on his personal WBO. "Keep talking, I like to listen." On the flight, a hyperactive child kept making trouble, even demanding to change seats next to the window with me. The child shouted, "I want to sit here, I have to sit." The child had to sit. And even the flight attendants who came to coax him were helpless. These past few days I had been staying up all night, wearing a black cap and a mask. At this point, my anger had exceeded the threshold. I shouted, "If you keep making noise, I'll throw you off the plane. Did your family buy this plane? You can sit wherever you want, who can control you? Don't think that just because you're a child, the whole world has to give in. They're treasures, you're just trash." When the child heard this, he burst into tears and looked for his father. The father was no match for him. What a bastard, what an uneducated person. I glared at him. "Maybe it's because of you, a lowly person who thinks he's noble. My education is only for worthy people. You think you're a good person. A father like you can't teach anything good. He can probably teach him to serve Erlangchen." After getting off the plane and returning to the hotel, I picked up my phone and saw countless unread messages. Manager Zhao kept sending me messages. "I told you to be careful with your words. Why are you picking a fight with others? This time you even picked a fight with a child. Now it's great. Oh my God, the thing about you cursing on the plane has already climbed to the top of the hot search. In this era of strict moral control, even Buddha can't save you." I opened the WBO app and quickly took a screenshot. This was the first time I was at the top of the trending search list. Tang Doi Kin Han was criticized for scolding a child. Tang Doi Kin Han, the evil woman, came to life. Tang clicked on the hashtag. It was a video of me disciplining a child on the plane, filmed from a wide angle in front, and my eyes were clearly visible. My distinctive slanted eyes were very recognizable and were immediately found. There was no sound of the child crying in the video, and the father's cursing was also cut out, leaving only me scolding and the child's crying. Because of my sharp, cold appearance, or play the villain, so I was not popular with the public. As soon as the video was released, public opinion almost immediately turned against me. It's true that real life is worse than the movies. In movies, real life is equally cruel. Why BL with a cold face? Obviously, she is so uneducated that she doesn't even let children go. This Sobeys is beyond help. This kind of woman who is this terrible still has movies to act in. Manager True advised me to quickly write a handwritten apology letter to calm the situation. It's best to avoid the storm first. But I didn't do anything wrong. What's the point of apologizing? I only posted 8 words and didn't understand the situation clearly. Please don't comment. At most, I'll retire. After all, I graduated from a top university. How could I not find a job? As a result, a while later, when I checked my hashtag's hot search, it had dropped out of the top 10. I don't know if True had spent money to lower the hot search. Right at that moment, the #1 hot search position had changed. Rapper Coach Ram's mouth was promoted. The song, "The Grass Grows Green on Gu Zhanxing's Grave," sounded interesting. I was curious and clicked to watch the video. It was the father of the child I scolded on the plane. He said, "He's still young and doesn't know anything, don't take it to heart." The camera then panned back. A man wearing a black cap, sunglasses, and a mask was sitting. Even though he was covered up, netizens still recognized him because of his broad shoulders and his slightly exposed chest. He was shooting at full power. Is he still young? Now that I haven't taught him a lesson, the grass on my grave is even bigger than him. If you and your father want to die, don't drag others down with you. This kid's brain. Did you stuff walnuts into him when he was young? Slow development is a disease. It's still too late to treat it early. When I heard it on the plane, I felt like a ray of justice was shining. Now listening to it again, it's truly a magical reenactment, bringing a feeling of satisfaction to my whole body. For this kind of person that's scum, only this way of teaching is effective. I didn't expect the hero to be Coach Ram. No wonder. He was so skilled at sarcasm. It seems that this is a typical professional skill. We both work in the lemongrass industry. But my name is still too obscure. I haven't had the chance to meet Coach Ram. At this moment, I feel like I found a soulmate. Coach Ram is too famous, immediately attracting all the attention and a wave of fierce criticism. My acting career, which was full of thorns, suddenly showed signs of improvement. Below the hot search section, there are countless comments from his fans. He's really a rapper. Rap speed of 100 words per 10 seconds. No need to read, I still understand every curse word. Tram's voice sounds so good. The word E is prolonged. I wish I could be scolded by Tram in bed. Hey, up there, your pants are making me stumble. Besides, there are also quite a few people who are sarcastic. Japanese people are really uneducated. Right Van immediately objected, but he touched the Eden University graduate step. This education is given to most other people, let alone rappers. Then even posted the lyrics composed by Gujan to support his idol. Don't be afraid when the truth is hard to find. There are always people standing by your side. Not long after, a famous blogger specializing in Cher's comments posted a long article talking about Gujan. The main idea is that as a celebrity, one must set a good example. Absolutely must not be careless with anger, speak vulgarly, and pollute good traditions. The article almost immediately received a warm response. Countless angry netizens poured into the comments section, all demanding that Gujan apologize. After a while of online noise, he still couldn't upload his apology letter. At night, Gujan finally appeared online, responding with 4 words: "Don't mind other people's business." His indifferent attitude touched my heart. It was really too great. However, I couldn't help but worry about him. In this era where emotions overwhelm reason, does anyone really care about the truth? Just now on the plane, after I scolded the father and son, the child kept crying non-stop. Not only did the father not comfort the child, he also stood next to me and mocked me insinuatingly. Finally, I gave in and took the initiative to change seats. And the child finally quieted down. A few minutes later, he started screaming again, holding a metal toy in his hand, happily knocking on the window. Luckily, Gujan, who was sitting behind, reacted quickly, grabbed the child's wrist in time, and snatched the toy away. A worse outcome did not happen. At this point, the father still did not teach his child a lesson but instead made excuses. The child is still young and doesn't know anything, so just let him go. That's why Gujan's statements climbed to the top of the search results. While the online community was arguing heatedly, a timid fan of Gujan uploaded the full video. In the video is the whole incident. From the time the child cried and asked to change seats, the father cursed and changed seats. Then the child smashed the window. The noisy online community suddenly became silent. Public opinion gradually shifted to the direction that opening a window on an airplane is really disregarding life. If the glass was broken, he would definitely be detained and have to pay a large sum of money in compensation. Fortunately, Mr. Tram reacted quickly. If the glass had broken, the whole flight would have been in danger. It's really funny, this kind of education will only cause more trouble for society in the future. Fortunately, Coach Ram is famous, has loyal fans who follow the schedule closely. Otherwise, if it were Ms. Kim Han, wouldn't it be a lifetime of injustice? Some internet users began to sympathize with my situation. Ms. Kim Han is really brave. When I met such an unreasonable person, I certainly wouldn't dare to speak up. Education is only for reasonable people. With this kind of person, the more you endure, the bigger it gets. +1. No need to be polite. Seeing life become more beautiful, the comments increase more and more going far. Someone even paired me with Gu Zhan. These two people are both sharp-tongued. What will it be like when they kiss? Haha, the guy above has taste. Some netizens like to gossip and even opened a topic to vote for the name of the couple who talks well. The couple who is hot-tempered, the couple who is a boss. In general, it is quite interesting. In the end, everyone leaned towards the safer name of Kin Tram for the fish. After an entire afternoon of being glued to the phone, experiencing all kinds of emotions, the lights outside the window were on. Standing next to the large glass window in the hotel room, I watched the giant advertising screen of Gu Zhan in the shopping mall opposite. The image of a young man with a cool mullet haircut, dressed all in black, wearing sunglasses and silver earrings, stood out on the stage. He exuded the freedom, openness, and rebellion of youth, an irresistible charm. I unconsciously smiled as I watched. Suddenly, the magnifying glass enlarged when trying to remove the glasses, revealing a pair of sparkling, deep phoenix eyes. Deep, it felt like he was staring at me. My heart beat faster. A strange sense of familiarity arose. I quickly shook my head to dispel it. Perhaps it was because Gu Zhan was too famous, his image was everywhere. What did he and I have to do with each other? The sound of a text message on my phone brought me back to reality. Brother Zhao sent a 60-second voice message. Wow, Gu Zhan is definitely your benefactor. Not only was the scandal resolved smoothly, but your reputation has also skyrocketed. A bright future awaits us. I only heard this flattering tone when he called the big boss. Banana Channel's suspension bridge effect dating deep. This quiz ding program just contacted me. He invited me to participate. The scale is grand, the investment is huge. This time it will definitely be a hit. I've sent you the project documents and contract. If there are any problems, we'll sign right away. I can't miss such a good opportunity. I opened the project documents and reviewed them carefully. The goal of the suspension bridge effect was to promote the development of feelings between couples through exciting adventure games. The filming location was at Tien Dao Ho. The filming time was 1 month. The show has 3 male and 3 female guests. The male guest list includes Gu Zhan, Jiang Ximing, Song Ximing. The female guest list includes Shijing Xian, Lin Yunyun Qinyu. When I saw Lin Yunyun's name, I almost threw my phone away. Do I have to participate in a dating game with that green tea girl? Banana TV's brand new dating game invites the most difficult stars of S-Spice to experience extremely exciting dates like roller coasters, haunted houses, and ice dancing to see if anyone falls for the other. Zhao Ge said that Banana TV had previously held a vote for the most difficult star in the entertainment industry. The noisy incident on the plane helped the audience unearth a potential rough diamond like me. As a result, I climbed to the top of the rankings immediately. Honestly, I had no intention of participating in dating game shows at first, but the bet they offered was too attractive to resist. Not long after I signed the contract, the official WBO page of the show loudly announced my presence. Because among the top performers, I was the one with the least reputation. The comments section below was filled with negative words waiting impatiently. So this is all. I really can't stand this person. Can you get out of here now? I told you. The argument on the plane the other day was just a trick to warm up the show. I don't agree. With Gu Zhan's personality, how could he act like this? Curious fans commented. Gu Zhan is the one at the top of the rankings. Did Banana Station really invite him? If Gu Zhan is really into dating, I'll ask my banana husband to lead the bees. A few minutes later, the show announced the second guest, Gu Zhan. In total, the show invited 8 guests, 4 men and 4 women, and the entire show would be broadcast live. The first filming location was a haunted house theme. The guests gathered in the main hall. A petite girl wearing a pink rabbit hat ran over happily. It was Lin Yunyun, the hottest and most famous female idol, second only to Gujan. Lin Yunyun had a small figure and a childish face. Even though there were many fans shipping her, everyone thought that she was only suitable for acting, devoting all her energy to her career and definitely wouldn't fall in love for real. She greeted everyone enthusiastically and the others happily responded. Gujan stood to the side and only indifferently responded with an Being ignored, Lin Yunyun walked up to me. Using her typical green tea tone, "Sister Jing Xian, you dress too boldly, unlike me, who is always loyal to the elementary school student style." Sure enough, the comments below also echoed her sentiment. "Oh my god, Jing Han is really full of tricks, wearing that tight turtleneck sweater, looking completely covered from the front. But the back is completely exposed. Dressing like that, I don't know who she's trying to seduce. Little Yun Yun, don't learn from her. Your rabbit hat is the cutest in the world." I almost got angry when Liang Yi replied, "This is the 21st century. What women wear is completely their right. You think so, right?" Lin Yunyun's perfect smile had a trace of fear. She reluctantly nodded. Fan Fan immediately rushed to protect her idol. Our precious Yun Yun kindly greeted her. Why is she talking so fiercely? Dressing like that and still trying to be a feminist? I don't know when Gujan took long strides over. "You look really beautiful in this outfit." Immediately the comments exploded. "I can't believe it. Gujan's mouth also knows how to compliment people. I told you so. Gujan like Yun Yun. Otherwise why would a cold person like him be so involved in dating? Brother, you're being a bit lazy." Vanziliunjan strongly supported him. Before, when Lin Yunyun participated in the show Survival to Find a Girl group, Gujan had come as a supporting guest. That's why the two of them already had a huge Xiao fanbase. Passers-by who had only supported CPO Jingjan for a few days only dared to whisper, "Am I the only one who saw Brother Zhan looking at Sister Jing Han?" When Lin Yunyun greeted her, Brother Zhan didn't even bother to look at her. "My Brother Zhan is my husband and wife." However, these comments were quickly drowned out. What kind of person is Jing Xian that she is so shameless and clings to him? Her sister only knows how to rely on herself to become famous. How can she compare to our beautiful and youthful treasures? Have you guys never seen a handsome man? Cold men and sweet women are true love. Boys probably like the type like Lin Yunyun better. I understood and stepped aside to give them space to talk. After they gathered, the organizers announced the rules that the guests with the highest number of votes would get to choose their first date. I was ranked last and had to accept it. When I stood next to Gujan in front of the haunted house, I realized that this fate was truly miraculous. Gujan was at the top of the rankings, and yet he chose me. The passers-by who shipped Jing Xian in the comments section were delighted. Scream out loud, "I told you so. Brother Zhan likes Sister Jing Xian. Mom, I shipped the right ship. I must have done good deeds in my previous life. So this life I can ship the carriage of the scripture station." Gujan and I had never known each other before, except for a brief encounter on the flight. It was hard to understand why he chose me. Perhaps because of our similar ability to give and take. Neither of us said anything, making the atmosphere all the way extremely tense. On the other side, Lin Yunyun finally became a couple with the young, scholarly pilot Jiang Siming, and together they entered the haunted house to experience it. Jiang Siming has a face that suits the camera very well. However, he loves himself too much, to the point that when filming with other actresses, it seems like he is trying to compete to see who is more beautiful and has no misgivings with his co-stars. Because of this, he was voted by netizens to participate in this program. Despite his outstanding appearance, he still has a certain number of loyal fans. They were the first to enter, and when they entered, they still maintained a polite attitude, calling each other teacher. When they left the haunted house, Lin Yunyan immediately pressed herself against Jiang Ximing, trembling nonstop. Jiang Ximing comforted Lin Yunyan. "Yunyan, don't worry, we're out. I promise to protect you." Without even looking at the comments, I could already imagine the chaotic scene that filled the screen. The cameraman who followed to record this scene couldn't help but smile like a silent hero. After they left, it was Gu Zhan and I's turn. I felt a little nervous. Since I wasn't afraid of ghosts to begin with, I could only try to create a cold appearance by wearing a backless shirt. I secretly glanced at Gu Zhan standing next to me. He was 1m86 tall with broad shoulders and long legs. Just by looking at his appearance, I knew he could drive away all the ghost rocks. After we walked out of the haunted house, awkwardness would probably engulf both of us again. The comment section was also anxious on our behalf. Where were those two people's gilded mouths? Speak up. This couple is so boring. Bored? I'm here. When two men and Van come out, call me. I'm so embarrassed that I want to bury myself and build a Bobby villa under my palm. We stood a meter apart, like officers going on an inspection, our hands clasped behind our backs as we entered the haunted house, calmly passing by the Sada girl who was crawling. The ferocious demons, the baby with a demon head and a snake body. The two of us walked in front and behind. There was absolutely no interaction. Suddenly, a hand reached out from behind and grabbed my wrist. I turned around. The gloomy green light of the haunted house shone on my face, but it still couldn't overshadow his handsome appearance. He held my hand tightly, his voice soft. "Sorry, I'm a little shaky." "So you were just pretending to be tough?" As a teammate, I didn't notice his abnormality. I immediately felt extremely guilty. A sense of responsibility suddenly rose up. I quickly moved closer, grabbed his hand. "Don't worry, I'll protect you." He hid behind me, his palms trembling with fear, sweat dripping down. I felt even more guilty, patted his shoulder, and gently encouraged him. "It's almost out. Don't be afraid." Why does this scene seem so familiar to me? People were all commenting on fake love. Who would have thought that the teacher had two faces? When you were the main character of the ghost party, scaring us to death, it wasn't like this. Until now. I still clearly remember the scene where you held a white skull and makeup, with a bloody face, singing and laughing at us weak-hearted people. Lam Van, can you stop acting? Nonsense. How can you call it acting when you're chasing a wife? Then countless NPCs dressed as demons appeared. There was the headless bride of the king of hell with a long tongue, and the zombie with a bloody face. I was full of chivalry and acted as a bodyguard standing in front of Gu Zhan. Gu Zhan must have been very scared. His whole body leaned against me. I firmly held both of his hands, tilted my head and said, "Don't be afraid." His whole body stiffened, and it took a long time for him to come back to his senses. "Thank you, it's great to have you." The comments were filled with the same jade actor, the top acting, the deep and profound. The fake Lu Engda tried to follow closely behind me, but his figure was too tall. It looked like he was hugging me in his arms. "Teacher, stop rapping, go write a novel. I can kneel down and read it." Now I understand why boys like Lin Yunyan. How could Brother Zhan be single? He deserves a wife. This couple is so beautiful. Can we fast forward to the ending? Never mind, I'll draw the song myself. Transfer 50 yuan to you. Remember to send me the picture. As we were about to leave the haunted house, suddenly a ghost with a long tongue fell from the ceiling. It was dressed in white, its hair was messy, its face was covered in blood, and its tongue was long and wavy. I knew it was fake. There was nothing to be afraid of, so I just kept going. Suddenly, someone hugged my waist tightly. Gu Zhan from behind put his arms around my waist, stood in front, and protected me safely in his arms. The long-tongued ghost puppet's strings broke and fell straight onto Gu Zhan's back. Oh my god, I was so scared. He touched too quickly. What is a friend? Ideal boyfriend? This is the ideal boyfriend, isn't he very scared? Why did he react so quickly when his wife was in danger? The Banana TV cameraman is truly a professional. When faced with this unexpected situation, His first reaction was to step back behind us to film for the audience the most realistic close-up angle on the screen. Gujan's slender fingers were placed on my waist and back. The camera slowly panned up, filming Gujan's red ears. A AAA cameraman remembered to reward him with chicken. That disgusting ghost scared me just now. Just then, guys, let's celebrate. I didn't dare to look anymore. Just a hug and my ears were already turning red. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Sister Jinghan has such a beautiful figure. This moment was made into a GIF by fans and spread like wildfire everywhere. The number of people who pre-ordered to watch the show also increased rapidly. The production team was moved to tears and immediately closed a few more lucrative advertising contracts. The popularity of CP Jingzhan increased rapidly, surpassing both Lin Yunyun and Song Si-ming. After the recording ended, I lay on the bed and surfed Rainbow, accidentally clicking on the Jingzhan Super Talk. In the featured post, a die-hard fan had sketched the scene of hands holding waists into a painting, using black and white tones, but the attraction was extremely strong. In just a few seconds, the painting received tens of thousands of likes. Clicking on the comments, I found out that Gujan had just liked this painting. Blogger Agong Gujan even teased, drawing beautifully. Instead of just sniffing the fish in the Super Talk, why not try a little harder to win over your wife? Once you get it, you can have anything you want. Gujan continued to like this comment. Suddenly my heart fluttered like thousands of butterflies fluttering at the same time. I opened WeChat, wanting to send a message to Gujan. Since we became WeChat friends, the two of us had never contacted each other. It was rare for me to feel so worried. So I don't know what to text. I hugged Cuckoo's phone, tossing and turning on the bed for a while. When WeChat suddenly notified me of a new message, I quickly opened it to see. It was Jiao Gujingjing, you're so hot these days. The data was growing rapidly, sticking close to Gujan. Climbing to the top was only a matter of time. My spirit immediately sank, and I put my phone aside. Well, let's just let things happen naturally. The next filming session had the theme of fate. The chosen location was the skywalk in Qiandao Lake. Gujan was still firmly in the position of the #1 celebrity. Who would he choose this time? After gathering at the foot of the mountain, the director announced the rules. This time we would no longer rely on popularity, but would choose our companions by greed. Gujan and Lin Yunyun were on the same team, while I went with Song Si-ming. The mission this time was to walk the entire skywalk with my partner. Then write 3 adjectives to describe the other person. Gujan and Lin Yunyun are the 2 most attractive people, so in order to increase the attention of the audience, they will be the first team to start. I sat in the waiting room, watching the live stream on my phone. The fan community of Yunjan, who had already loved the combination of Gujan and Lin Yunyun, were extremely excited. It was truly fate that they finally met. At that fateful moment I cried. What kind of tip was this? The glass road stretched out from the cliff, suspended between the mountains. Below my feet was a layer of transparent glass, giving the feeling that if I took a wrong step, my bones and flesh would be crushed. Right at the beginning of the road, Lin Yunyun started to cry, weakly grabbing Gujan's sleeve. Brother John, I'm afraid of heights, my legs are all weak. Yunjan's fan community became even more enthusiastic. Oh, Yinbao is so good, kiss her for me. The crybaby princess is the best, isn't this much cuter? That cold face? Gujan slightly narrowed his eyes, glanced at Lin Yunyun, and pulled her sleeve. Then I'll go first. Pan Jingzhan and the others who were waiting for this moment burst out laughing. Aha! So funny. Going first? What? What's there to say? Lin Yunyun was stunned for a moment, then quickly acted coquettishly. Can you carry me? Her voice was as sweet as green tea. I could hear Lin Yunyun's plan through the phone screen. In this situation, Gujan could hardly refuse. If he carried her all the way on the glass bridge, it would definitely cause a storm online. I knew what a person who was truly afraid of heights looked like. She was clearly pretending. Gujan leaned down, observed Lin Yunyun's wet face, and asked seriously, You really can't walk at all? Seeing that she was about to achieve her goal, Lin Yunyun cried and nodded continuously. Guzhan stood up straight. Then why did you agree to participate in this program? You can't walk but still want to earn money. Are you the turtle in the fairy tale? You've probably never been treated like this by the opposite sex. Lin Yunyun's face was filled with disbelief. Her lips pursed as if she was about to cry. Guzhan explained to her, if you're really afraid of heights to the point of not being able to walk, you should have told the director in advance. Told him not to film this episode and not to accept the bet. No one will blame you. He emphasized the two words, really. Lin Yunyun grabbed the hem of his shirt. But you shouldn't scold me. Right? It's not tiring for me to carry you for a bit. Am I that light? Guzhan stepped back. I'm a straightforward person. If you're not happy, what are you going to do to me? Lin Yunyun had not yet reacted. She tried to touch him again and said, it's okay, come here. Lin Yunyun saw a glimmer of hope and reached out to grab his back. Goo! John avoided her to the side and walked behind her. Look at her, you're filming, please take a close-up of her legs. Then Guzhan was like a coach supervising a student, urging Lin Yunyun to walk. In the live stream, Lin Yunyun walked with difficulty, each step seemed heavy. Next to her, Guzhan's voice occasionally rang out accurately. Lift your legs high. Beat 1, 2, continue. Who would have thought that participating in a deep dating would turn into this situation? The entire screen was filled with laughter. The atmosphere was extremely lively. Under Guzhan's close supervision, Lin Yunyun had no choice but to obediently complete the challenge. When it came to the part where she filled in the adjectives, Lin Yunyun described Guzhan as handsome, disciplined, and strong. As for Guzhan, she wrote that she was weak in the limbs, confused mind, dark circles under eyes. The audience on the screen competed to expose, asking honestly, is Tram CA writing a medical record? Haha, as expected of a medical practitioner, and also a national-level track and field athlete. It's really in the blood of the profession. It's amazing, so handsome but still single. The power of a single person is really admirable. After a series of funny and sad situations, Van Cle Vam was broken up. No longer interested in rowing the boat. Song Tumin and I were the last team. The sky was getting dark, the wind on the road blew stronger, making it seem more dangerous. I was really afraid of heights. After the incident in high school, this fear became worse to the point of obsession. The sound of the wind whistling in my ears, the clouds surrounding me, my heart felt like it was hanging by a thread. The reality of being up high made me suffocate, my head was dizzy. I had to be responsible for my work when I got there. I tried to suppress my discomfort, held onto the railing, took deep breaths to calm down, and told myself that everything would pass quickly. But God did not favor people. A large hand suddenly removed my hand from the railing. I looked up at Song Siming, who was holding my hand tightly in his palm. His face showed a confident expression like, don't worry, I'm here. You won't fall, I'll protect you. Jing Xian. Thank you. I pulled my hand back and continued to hold on to the railing. I don't need anyone to protect me, let's quickly get over here. I looked straight ahead, not daring to look down at my feet, reassuring myself, this is just flat ground. Song Siming misunderstood again. I was embarrassed and didn't dare to look at him. Suddenly moved closer, my tone full of seduction. Don't you trust me? You're so cheesy. I tried to be polite. You don't believe in yourself. I had to try really hard to hold back from scolding him. Song Siming smirked. It seemed like he was even more convinced that I was completely attracted to him. He used his hand to hold my chin, forcing me to face him, then said something that was sickening to hear. We men have the responsibility to protect women. Hearing this cheesy nonsense was unbearable. I immediately turned my face away and accidentally looked down at the mountain stretching out below. Suddenly I didn't know what made me more uncomfortable. Song Siming still didn't give up on his seduction. He tried to remove my hand from the railing again, trying to force me to focus on him. I really couldn't stand it anymore. As a man, don't be so entangled. If you really want to see me admire you to the point of not being able to blink, with only your empty head in my eyes, then please hurry up. I am actors if you come here. I'll show you how to act, okay? When Song Si-ming heard me say that, he stood there frozen like a statue. I took the opportunity to quickly hold onto the railing and walk away. I muttered, "Flat ground, flat ground, flat ground." Not long after, Song Si-ming caught up. Fortunately, he finally stopped bothering me. The sunset fell. The bright orange sunlight shone on the stone road, creating shimmering streaks of light. Song Si-ming still tried his best to show off his handsomeness. He wanted to act out the scene of a young man chasing the sunlight in front of the camera. So he suddenly accelerated. Unexpectedly, he hit the camera hard, causing the cameraman to fall to the ground. I tried to stay calm and help the cameraman up. The Banana Channel cameraman was truly a person with a high sense of responsibility. No matter what happened, he could quickly regain his spirit of work. This collision injured Song Si-ming in the place he cared about the most. His face was red and swollen. At the same time, Song Si-ming's display of beauty also failed miserably. He fell down and lost all face. Face and dignity were the two things he valued the most. Song Si-ming completely collapsed, unable to control his emotions. He was a little angry at the cameraman. "What kind of filming style are you doing? What's your intention in pointing it straight at my face?" The cameraman hurriedly apologized. "Sorry, Song, I'll be more careful next time." Song Si-ming still wouldn't let it go. "Do you want a next time? I bought insurance for this face of mine, just follow the procedure. Wait for the hospital to assess it and then worry about compensation." The sound of the wind in my ears was getting louder and louder. The surrounding scenery seemed to be spinning. I tried to keep my composure to hide it to reassure the cameraman, then took a deep breath and shouted, "The thing that needs insurance the most is your brain. Your waterlogged brain will naturally disintegrate without the wind. Running so fast on a glass bridge like that, do you know how dangerous it is? You dare to ask for compensation for having 8 eyes and not having a single conscience. What is your secret? How can you avoid all human evolution and maintain such primitive stupidity?" I released a guy who has lost all his oxygen, and the netizens who have been watching live all this time are all happy and excited. I have to say that I finally have a sister like Song Si-ming. Taking his face away, he is truly a narcissistic and weak man. It is clearly his fault, but he blames others, thinking he is the best. Thinking back to the grievances in the office, workers like me sympathize a lot. I have changed from an anti to a fan. Sister Jing is truly a lifesaver. Does everyone notice? This hot-tempered guy and this impulsive girl only use their mouths to deal with outsiders. Song Si-ming finally understood what I just said, and was so angry that he wanted to rush over and grab my collar. I intended to dodge, but Song Si-ming's face gradually became blurry before my eyes. My body had reached its limit. My fingers could no longer grip the railing. I fell down. When I woke up again, I was lying in a white hospital room. Beside the bed, Brother Zhao held my hand, sobbing so hard that my shoulders shook, and he muttered, "Buddha blesses me." As soon as he saw me awake, he immediately wiped his tears and smiled. This heartless girl scared him to death. Although the opportunity was important, it couldn't be exchanged for life like this. If anything happened, I didn't know how to explain it to her mother. I was really moved. "Ah!" Brother Zhao cried out while holding his phone. "Jing Jing, you climbed to the top of the hot search again. We gained 180,000 followers in just one day. It was well deserved. Let's go to the temple tomorrow to thank Bodhisattva." He held the phone in front of me. The top spot on the hot search was Tang Qin carrying Tang Princess style in the video. The moment Tong Tu-min touched me, I fainted right on the glass bridge. Song Si-ming immediately raised his hands, indicating to the camera that I was pretending to have nothing to do with him. The people around had yet to understand what was happening. At that moment, Gu Zhan ran over from the other side of the glass bridge and picked me up. Amidst the majestic mountains, the bright pink clouds rolled, The sky and the glass bridge were both dyed pink, both shimmering and splendid. Gujan hugged me, running across the glass bridge towards the sunset. I felt a little dazed. That year when I woke up in the school infirmary, I had also seen the sky in a pink color like this. Below the video, the comment section was full of blessings for the Jingjian couple. This scene was so awesome. He was truly a two-faced man. He trained in the military with others, but carried his wife like a princess. Eowea, this little heart is melting. Jingjian always has the most legendary photos. It feels so pure and romantic. I hope Jingjian can hold the wedding rite on the glass bridge. The corners of my mouth that were already curling up suddenly stiffened. No need. Brother Zhao took out his phone and summarized the public opinion for me. The company immediately announced the hospital's diagnosis results. The reason I fainted was because I was afraid of heights. My body couldn't take it. Netizens rushed to express their sympathy for me, praising me for my dedication to work, and also compared me to Lin Yunyan. The difference was too obvious. Not only did Cleo Jingjian's popularity climb to the top spot, but it also erased many of the netizens' previous prejudices about me. Many people turned from anti to fan. Brother Zhao suddenly stopped laughing and solemnly reminded me, "Oh my god. Yunyan and Ximing lost a lot of points in this episode. You have to be careful of them trying to bring you down in retaliation." The slanderous words that those two families spread were notoriously dirty. So in the next episodes, be a little more discreet. Absolutely do not reveal any flaws. I will ask the master to ask for more amulets for you. As a materialist, I thought to myself that instead of spending money on amulets, I should save it to help me remove the viral posts on social media. Brother Zhao came out to hide it for me to secretly approach. "Are you and Gujan dating?" "No way. There is no such thing." Brother Zhao muttered, "Oh my god, you even hide it from me. So why does he keep helping you?" The first time I was speechless. I hesitated for a moment, doing good deeds. The haunted house shielding the puppet, even carrying me down the mountain, and even scolding the naughty child on the plane. He really did help me a lot, but Gujan is very righteous. To him it is probably just a small matter. There is no other hidden meaning. If you think too much, people will laugh at you. Mr. True nodded, his face showing approval. Very possible. Too much luck. How can one bear it without accumulating virtue? I was speechless. The next day I continued to participate in the filming. This time the theme was the stadium. After the draw, Gu and I were on the same team, and Lin Yunyan was on the same team with Song Siming. The other two kept glaring at me, seemingly opposing each other. I had reason to suspect that the results of the draw both times had been tampered with. It seemed that after being humiliated by me, Lin Yunyan no longer dared to approach Gujan easily. The director announced with a grin that the show's popularity was increasing. A world-famous luxury brand had contacted us. We had succeeded. The couple with the highest number of votes among the couples in this episode would become the Asia-Pacific representative of that brand, filming a joint advertisement, reaching out to the world. No wonder the director was so excited. This brand had never had a precedent of choosing a representative in China, proving that the show was really hot. The show's homepage has opened a voting contest for all 4 couples in this episode. This recording will be divided into 2 rounds. The first round is a fencing competition. Each team will send a member to compete in the fencing competition. The team with the highest total number of wins will receive an additional 500,000 votes. Everyone is looking forward to it because the prize is so attractive. All teams are in high agreement, sending male representatives to participate. Ko Tram wears a pure white fencing outfit, a mask. His appearance exudes sharpness and arrogance. With decisive attacks, he quickly won 2 consecutive rounds. Currently, Ko Tram is leading in the number of votes, while Min Van follows closely behind. Although after the incident in the glass walkway episode, Lam Van Van and Tong Tu Min lost a lot of sympathy from the audience. In return, they attracted a more loyal and combative fan base. Many of Lin Yun and Gu Zhan's fish fans, after Gu Zhan personally destroyed the boat, turned to support Mingyan. During Song Siming's sword fight, Lin Yun kept cheering sweetly. "Siming, come on." Between the rounds, she hugged him, patted his shoulder, and gave him water, making the sweetness skyrocket. Just like a domineering swordsman and his infatuated little wife. The comments on the screen kept running. Siming and Wu were still the most beautiful couple. Every interaction had a response. The two treasures were amazing, the others were just extras. Rushed to take the representative position and annoy those anti-fans who only nitpick. Song Siming was like a tiger with wings. He already had experience in sword fighting, so he had a big advantage and also won 2 matches in a row. Next was the most important match. Gu Zhan faced Song Siming. This match would decide the final winner of the round. Before stepping onto the stage, Song Siming deliberately brought his sword forward to put pressure. As a man, I will not let women suffer any harm. Gu Zhan exuded a strong masculine aura standing in front of me, taking off his helmet. His beautiful peach blossom eyes slightly drooped, saying to me, "Then you go out and compete." Song Siming was bad. Song Siming seemed to not expect such a counterattack, angrily saying, "I don't hit women." I immediately grabbed my helmet. "Then you compete." Gu Zhan stepped forward, patting Song Siming's shoulder. "Hey buddy, men do what they say." Song Siming's face turned pale, unable to say a word for a long time, waiting to see what the show would be like. Who told him to act like a gentleman? Not letting women suffer, he said it himself. Haha, dealing with this kind of patriarchal man. Only our master can handle it. Stepping onto the stage, I was filled with the will to win, immediately swinging my sword to attack the fatal weakness. Song Siming was at a loss, not knowing whether to block or dodge. His hesitation made him fail quickly. Angry with embarrassment, Song Siming yanked off his helmet, rushed over to criticize me. "You guys are not playing by the rules." Gu Zhan held him back with one hand, whispering like a devil, "You have lipstick on you." This move really worked. Song Siming immediately threw away his sword, ran to find a makeup artist to fix it. Happy to have defeated the hateful person, I was extremely excited. When I took off my helmet, I intended to high-five Gu Zhan to celebrate the victory. He reached out to take the helmet. My lips accidentally touched his sleeve. The lipstick mark was immediately printed on his pure white hoodie. Embarrassed, I apologized and hurriedly went to change clothes. In the live stream room, Gu Zhan stood still, brought my lipstick-stained sleeve to his nose to smell, then he smiled slightly. "There is something wrong with this guy. It's really over, I'm in love." Ah. The big dog is marking its territory with its owner's scent. It's nothing touch. After filming the first half of the stadium theme, we had a celebration party. Gu Zhan had the highest status and was a newly returned international student, so he was assigned to a private room with an international brand representative. 6 other guests and I sat in the same room. Lin Yun sat next to me, her big, round eyes sparkling as she pretended to ask questions. "Oh, Jing Jing seems to be a single parent, right? Without a father to protect her. And she's also beautiful, she must have encountered a lot of trouble, right?" Haha, I was just joking. I didn't explain and asked her back with my chin in my hands, "Your father is very rich, right?" Lin Yun replied, "That's right, my father is very good. He opened many companies." Did I say that? He must have made things difficult for many girls because he was so good. I was just joking. The expression on Lin Yun's face gradually became unpleasant. Seeing that the situation seemed tense, the others quickly eased things up. The show was so successful. Let's raise our glasses to celebrate. Song Siming could always make the atmosphere more awkward. He arrogantly filled a glass of wine and handed it to me and said, "I'll treat you to this one." But if you don't drink it, it's like you're looking down on me, Song Si-ming. I suspect that all the worst things in the world have been concentrated on Song Si-ming. I stood up and politely replied, Song Si-ming, I need to make it clear to you. The fact that I don't value you has nothing to do with whether or not I drink. Song Si-ming and Lin Yunyan glared at me angrily, both trying to convince me to drink. I knew their plan because there was a filming schedule for the evening. If I got too drunk to participate, then the number one spot would definitely belong to them. Song Si-ming suddenly pulled out a set of dice and the whole group got into a game and competed to toast me. I still sat still, refusing to accept this coercion. Regardless of the punishment they brought upon themselves, I did not drink a single drop. Unable to achieve his goal, Song Si-ming angrily shook the dice. It was just a game, you overreacted and made everyone unhappy, losing interest. Boom. Without knowing when, Gujan had entered the room. He picked up a wine glass and knocked it hard on the table. The liquid inside shook. Let me play with you. In contrast to the comfortable clothes of the others, he wore an elegant blue suit that showed his courtesy. He sat down next to me, exuding a cool sea breeze scent. Gujan's appearance made me feel much more secure. Finally, the rules of the game were changed. Whoever rolled the dice with the lowest score would be punished with drinking. I rolled 17 times and Gujan drank 17 glasses for me. I felt extremely guilty towards him. What a black thigh. My luck is probably worse than the national football team today. Are you tired? I asked kindly. He slightly narrowed his eyes as if he wanted to put his hand on the back of my hand that was on the table to comfort me. It's not uncomfortable. It's okay. His voice was calm and sounded very sober, but instead he patted Song Si-ming's hand, making him flustered, and said, Here's the wine, let's drink. The evening was the recording of the second round, which was broadcast during prime time, so there were a lot of viewers. The venue was a gymnasium with a giant dry balloon pool filled with blue and white plastic balls. The rules of the game were that two people would work together, using their face to hold a red balloon and cross the pool to the other side. Each successfully transported balloon would be awarded 10,000 votes. The scores would be combined from the morning's fencing matches and the votes to select the final representative pair. After drinking, Gujan came out of the bathroom and closed his eyes, pretending to sleep. He was obviously drunk. I felt very embarrassed. I wished I was a little luckier. The first two couples coordinated very well, using their foreheads to hold the balloons and slowly groping their way through the pool of balloons. They had to be careful not to drop the balloons and pay attention to their steps so they wouldn't slip. Occasionally their bodies touched each other, their breaths brushing against each other's, creating an extremely ambiguous atmosphere. This caused the number of viewers to skyrocket. It was Lin Yunyan and Song Si-ming's turn. Lin Yunyan was petite, so there was a big height difference between the two. If they directly pressed their heads together to pass the balloon, Song Si-ming would have to bend very low, making it inconvenient to move. However, they still smiled confidently. In the pool of balloons, Song Si-ming directly picked Lin Yunyan up, making Lin Yunyan sit in his lap, pressing their foreheads together to hold the balloons. After transporting to the destination, Lin Yunyan jumped down, held hands with Song Si-ming and ran back to the starting point, then continued transporting. In this way, this method proved to be very effective, helping them transport 20 more balloons than the other teams. The live audience also felt the sweetness and voted like crazy. I have diabetes, it's so sweet. Yunyan was so smart. Being small turned out to be an advantage. Si-ming's strong hand was so charming. Was this method copied by someone? The audience's votes for them had surpassed Jingzhan, leading by a considerable distance. Gujan had always been persistent and hardworking, and at this moment he must be struggling like the fear of heights that haunted me. I approached and said, Why don't we stop? You should rest well. Gujan spoke a bit slowly now, but he still smiled to reassure me. What are you saying? We have to go to the destination together. My heart suddenly contracted, numb. We stepped into the boring blue balloon pool, holding the balloon together. Our steps were shaking, we couldn't stand still. The balloon kept falling to the ground and then exploding. After many failures, the alcohol in Gujan's body rose, making him impatient. The red balloon was between his foreheads. His face was half hidden by the balloon. I could only see his lips, which were redder from the alcohol than the balloon. I heard his heavy breathing and smelled the faint scent of alcohol. My whole body unconsciously tensed up like a bowstring that had been pulled to its limit. But I really liked his aura of wanting to tear everything apart at this moment. After struggling for a long time, we still couldn't move any balloon. In the chat box, Min Van Hahe's fans commented that Gujan looked like he was high, walking crookedly. Another person claiming to be a waiter explained that Gujan drank for me this afternoon. That's why he became like this. Fans who understood him were all very surprised. Brother Jean never drank. Before, he was teased by his manager on W that he had a low alcohol tolerance. With such a low alcohol tolerance, he dared to drink for someone else? Low alcohol tolerance but still wanted to protect his wife. It must be said that Jing Jing might not even be drunk when she drinks herself, and that Gujan drank for her. Mainly because of his heart. When he found out about the situation, every time the balloon fell, it became a ball game. Our votes increased rapidly. Boom! The balloon exploded, and Gujan crushed it. His eyes were bloodshot, and his whole body exuded frustration. After many failures, he seemed very dissatisfied with the balloons he had crushed. Looking at his fierce appearance, I felt like he would crush my head in the next second. Just when I was panicking, Gujan's face suddenly moved closer. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. Me? His lips slid down my cheek as if wanting to find my lips but couldn't find them. I instinctively wanted to respond to him. Our breaths mixed together. The strong smell of alcohol rushed into my nose. Feeling his tongue sneaking in, I suddenly woke up. This was a live stream. I wanted to push him away with my tongue but couldn't resist. On the contrary, he became more enthusiastic, kissing me deeper. Could it be that every rapper's tongue was so skillful? Remembering that we were still live streaming, I had to bite him. He wasn't angry at all, his annoyance completely disappeared. He obediently let me go, kissed my cheek, his chin rubbed against my neck, and said sadly, "Sorry, classmate Luke." After the kiss, his lips were moist, ambiguous, and full of charm. Below the bustling chat, Van Cleo Jingjan celebrated loudly, competing to release fireworks, announcing today is Jingjan's big day. Passers-by asked, "Are these two married? Oh my god, he's such a good kisser, what a pity." Jing Jing had never done a kissing scene before. It's okay, Brother Jean had never even kissed a child. Oh my god, it was the first kiss of a naive and passionate rapper. In the end, we couldn't carry any balloons, but everyone still insisted on holding a wedding for us, voting for us to surpass the other teams. Under the envious eyes of Lin Yunyun and Song Siming, the director announced that we had won the right to be the representative. After the filming ended, it was already very late, but I couldn't sleep. It wasn't that I hated Gujan's kisses, I was completely awake. If it had been someone else kissing me, I would have definitely broken that person's arm. But as soon as Gujan got close, my legs went limp. The body's reaction was the most real. I couldn't avoid thinking about it anymore. I like Gujan, but why does he call me classmate Lou? I used to have the surname Lou. Before the incident in 11th grade, I had my father's surname Lou. After my parents divorced, I changed my surname to Shi Jing'an. Did Gujan know me since high school? Did he know about it? In 11th grade, there was a rumor that I was molested on the bus. No one would listen to my explanation. Everyone used humiliating nicknames to insult me. A male student even stuffed money into my desk drawer. The rumor spread more and more, and some people took advantage of it to tease and bully me. They tricked me onto the rooftop, surrounded me, and forced me to take off my clothes, otherwise they would push me down. Haha, or die. You can still become a female martyr. I spat fiercely in their faces. They were furious. I got so close to the fence on the rooftop that my upper body was hanging outside. If I were a little bit more, I would have fallen and been crushed to death. Too scared. I passed out and my fear of heights became worse. The news of my assault spread to my residential area and my father's workplace. My father was angry that I had embarrassed him, and they argued, leading to divorce. My mother decided to take me to another city to start a new life. If Mr. Tram had known me since high school, how could he not know about this? What would he think of me? Why did he take the initiative to approach me? I lay on the bed, eyes looking up at the ceiling, my head pounding, and suddenly sat up. Never mind, I must find Mr. Tram to clarify everything. The program was entering its crucial stage. The couples had been officially paired and there was no more change. This made it easier for me to find opportunities to meet and ask Mr. Tram. The advertising contract with the luxury brand will take place at the end of next month, which means that the show will finish filming the last episode this month. This time, we were taken to an island near the Northeast region. The theme of this episode is roller coasters, experiencing the feeling of riding a pig train in the cold of the Northeast winter sea breeze. The highlight of the recording is after experiencing the extreme height challenge. What do you want to say most to your companion? Even before boarding the train, Lin Yunyan had discussed in detail with Song Si-ming about the things they wanted to share. It seems that she values this opportunity very much. It is understandable because after the recent broadcast, although she has the advantage of relying on Fish to attract fans, my fan base has grown faster. My personal votes have surpassed hers and are now second only to Tram. The early winter sea breezes are piercing my ears. Riding the roller coaster here should probably be considered a form of modern punishment. Song Si-ming was the first to participate. Lin Yun stood in the stands waiting for him. The dark yellow roller coaster followed the winding track. Sometimes it climbed high, sometimes it plunged downhill, sometimes it flipped over. The howling wind echoed throughout the live stream. After a lap, Song Si-ming staggered towards the stands, grabbed Lin Yunyan's hand and said, "I love you." Oh. He hugged his knees and threw up. Lin Yunyan's face darkened. But she still tried to maintain a sweet expression, rubbing Song Si-ming's back to make him feel better. Very professional. It was Lin Yunyan's turn to board the roller coaster. Although she was small in stature, she was much stronger than Song Si-ming, single-handedly handing out candy to attract fans. After getting off the train, she walked towards Song Si-ming and said, "You are the first person I want to entrust my life to." As soon as she finished speaking, she tiptoed to kiss him, and comments flooded in with compliments. Kiss, kiss. A sober kiss that promises happiness. Isn't that better than a drunk kiss? So sweet. Van is so determined. Min Van, just stand there and wait for Dad to get the household registration book. Besides the compliments, some people also expressed their doubts. Didn't they say she was afraid of heights? She always acted strong, not afraid of ghosts, not afraid of heights at all. How hypocritical, just going through a little thing and already wanting to give her whole life to each other. Wait, did anyone notice that Tong Tu-min just threw up? The sky was gray in the northeast, and hailstones began to fall. I'm afraid of heights, but walking on the glass bridge, I can still tell myself that I'm walking on flat ground. But this is a roller coaster, what do I have to do to get over it? I didn't want to miss the chance to ask Gu Zhan. I was also curious to know what he would say to me. I clenched the peace charm that Zhao had asked for me, determined to grit my teeth and endure. I tried to get on the roller coaster first and stayed in the stands to wait for him. After a lap, the roller coaster still didn't stop. Could something have happened? I quickly asked the director what was going on. The director explained, "Because Gu Zhan knew you were afraid of heights. He suggested to the crew that he would experience it for you. However, we refused the first time. But he volunteered to do it 5 times. It's so cold. And you're going to ride a roller coaster 5 times? It's terrible." I hid in my down jacket in a corner of the stands, still shivering from the cold. My eyes were glued to the roller coaster. My whole body shook with each up and down, and my heart was pounding. At this moment, I no longer cared about what he would say. I just wanted him to be safe and get down quickly. After trying to touch and sit for 5 laps, when he got down, his face was pale from the cold. I immediately ran over and hugged him, but unexpectedly he pushed me away, gently adjusted my hat, and smiled, "Don't get cold." What a man, damn it. I'm already moved by him. This man is so sweet, how can I not be moved? If this is not love, then what is love? After this episode, netizens unanimously criticized Lam Van Van and Tong Two Min for their fake acting and forced feelings. Gu Zhan's words "don't be cold" touched the hearts of many people. In today's society, there are many sweet words, but people who are willing to endure the cold just to keep you from being cold are rare. I don't know if Gu Zhan has any connection to my past, but I'm sure of one thing. I like him. I want to tell him that the scandal of Miss Cham suddenly rose to the top of the search results. All over the forums and entertainment news sites, Gu Zhan's bad behavior was posted. In high school, he beat the elderly, beat his classmates, and was disciplined for destroying public property. In the end, he was expelled from school because he couldn't continue studying in Vietnam, and then he went abroad to study. Attached is a picture of the old man's diagnosis paper at the hospital a few years ago, with a radiograph of his broken ribs, of his classmates, and the school's disciplinary notice. It clearly stated the name of Gu Zhan. The reason was intentionally breaking the glass door. These rumors had appeared a few years ago but did not cause a stir. Now, with full pictures and evidence, they spread at a dizzying speed. It was indeed Song Si-ming and Lin Yun-yun who had taken action. In addition, Gu Zhan was a very noisy character. Besides Lin Yun-yun and Song Si-ming, many other opponents also took the opportunity to bring him down with the intention of dividing the profits. He must have suffered from emotional disorders. This kind of thug is used to beating up the bad guys. If I were an old man or a classmate of mine who had been assaulted by him, I would definitely be extremely disappointed and hurt. How could such a person be famous? Everyone knows that a master's degree in the UK means money. His character is low, but he still acts like a thug. How many times have I told you? Rappers are all low-class people, it turned out. That Gu Zhan went to the same high school as me. Looking at the evidence of Gu Zhan beating people, memories of the days when I was bullied came flooding back, making my hands and feet tremble. Was he really a bully? But when I read those malicious comments, I suddenly woke up. Wasn't this the purpose of the rumor monger? Unable to stand idly by, I immediately jumped into a one-on-one argument with the residents. Mac, don't blindly follow public opinion like that. What if the truth is exposed a little more? If you're so hasty in choosing sides, you'll get into trouble. Use some common sense to think if these things are true. Why would breaking a glass door result in disciplinary action, but beating an old man is okay? Yes, of course, all your degrees are trash. The thing around your neck is also a fake. Just as I was fighting passionately, Brother Zhao called, "Oh my gosh, I like Hero Ban. You can type, but don't use your main account. I beg you to create a sub-account. You two haven't even established your relationship yet. He's an A-list star who makes a lot of money, and your future is uncertain. If he really did this, you'd be ruining your own career by doing this." Brother Zhao's voice became smaller and smaller. I only heard myself say one sentence. I believe him. I believe him. The incident where I argued with netizens climbed to top Channing. While everyone was keeping quiet and avoiding me, I used my real name to defend Gu Zhan. Some of Gu Zhan's only fans praised me as a worthy person, while the rest were angry. Please respect this guy. Don't cause trouble again. This time, Gu Zhan responded very quickly. He announced that he had reported the matter to the police. Information about the old man and that classmate was gradually exposed online. The truth was that both of them had criminal pasts. Public opinion gradually calmed down, no longer completely believing that Gu Zhan was a bully. However, the brand was worried about Gu Zhan's flaws. The representative contract that was supposed to be signed was now being reviewed, and there was a possibility that someone else would be chosen, because the bullying incident had not yet ended. The fans of Jingjian became much quieter during the final recording. The content of the final recording did not cause much controversy but was extremely awkward. The topic was the truth on the rooftop. The format of the program followed the recent trend. One person stood on the rooftop using a loudspeaker to express himself while the other stood downstairs listening. No matter how embarrassed I was, I had to tell Gujan that I liked him during this final recording. I had to express my feelings so that I would not have any regrets. The rules of this episode are that each person will prepare a secret gift for the other, then express their feelings on the rooftop, and finally open the gift. Measure the heart rate to decide whether they want to go further and become true lovers. The gift I prepared for Ko Tram was a peace charm. When I told True about wanting to ask for a charm, he looked at me with a puzzled look. I have never been superstitious before, but on the 480 steps from the foot of the mountain to the temple, I sincerely prayed to Bodhisattva to bless Ko Tram with peace and success on every step. The program team collected everyone's phones, then distributed gifts to each person. The gifts were contained in a sealed black bag. The gifts of the others looked quite heavy, while Ko Tram's gift was just a thin piece of paper. The audience watching the live stream also noticed this. Tram's gift was a bit small. No one should say that Tram's gift was small. What is this? A ticket to see the show? Land use rights certificate or signature? Haha. It's possible. I can't figure out what it is. Or a cholera amulet. Oh no, I've been infected with superstition by him. We left the TV building by elevator. We headed to the rooftop area chosen for filming, perhaps to increase the effect of the program. The director was very considerate when he took the time to let us discuss our heartfelt confessions. There was no camera on the way. Ko Tram and I stepped out of the elevator, each carrying a sealed black bag. I wanted to ask him questions like what was in the bag? Did you know me in high school? Did you ever beat up an elderly person? Was that classmate's rib really broken? Why did you suddenly break the glass door? Do you like me? Countless questions were in my head. I didn't know where to start. Suddenly, the elevator lights went out and it began to fall freely. Gujan immediately hugged me tightly and pressed the elevator's emergency call button. The speed of the fall was no different from falling straight from the rooftop. I hugged him tightly and shouted, "Gujan, where will you go when you die?" The elevator stopped suddenly with a clatter. The sound coming from above the elevator was the building staff. They announced that the elevator had an electrical short circuit and that they would quickly send someone to fix it. The director's team announced through the elevator's walkie-talkie that they would go to the rooftop filming location first so that the other guests could go up first. We should go outside and then go up later, or if we couldn't make it in time, they would live stream it in 2 batches. After the discussion was over, the elevator fell silent again. Gujan still held me in his embrace. I leaned slightly against the elevator opposite, wanting to ask him about important matters. So how should I start the conversation? That old man was beaten by him. That classmate's ribs were also broken by him, and the glass door was also broken by him. Gujan leaned against the corner of the elevator, raised his eyes to look at me in the dark. His beautiful phoenix eyes turned towards me, making me suspect that he could hear my heart. I didn't know how to react for a moment. I could only honestly say, there must be some reason. The Gujan I knew would absolutely not do such things for no reason. He smiled slightly, a smile that was a little helpless. Classmate Lu, it seems like you've never cared about me at all. This dark space was indeed very suitable for reminiscing about past memories. Gujan shared that at that time, he had absolutely no idea that he would become a rapper. The Gujan high school student was a good student from a well-off family, always wearing a neat uniform, giving off a sense of seriousness. His only wish was to meet everyone's expectations of him. For the first 10 years of his life, he did a good job. In 11th grade, because his personal driver was busy, he had to take the bus to school. On the bus, he witnessed an old man molesting a female student. He stood behind the girl and acted indecently. The girl gritted her teeth and endured, tears welling up in her eyes, but she didn't dare to say anything. Immediately, she tried to kick the pervert away. The bus stopped, all eyes turned to him. The man lying on the ground groaned and demanded compensation from the station. The girl was silent. The passengers on the bus began to criticize. Everyone condemned him as a thug who assaulted others for no reason. The old man grabbed onto Cotram's uniform and caused a commotion all the way to school. The principal patted Cotram's shoulder to comfort him. "It's okay, just don't do it again next time." His father directly compensated the lecher with a sum of money, hoping to calm the situation. His friends also believed the rumors, saying that he was mentally unstable because of the pressure to maintain a perfect image. No one believed him. No one wanted to find out the truth. In just a moment, he went from being an excellent student to a bad person. He realized that everything he had worked so hard to build up all this time turned out to be ridiculous. Just as his values collapsed, just a few days later, the police came to inform him that after reviewing the surveillance cameras, his actions were considered chivalrous. And he was even awarded a medal. He once again became a favored person. The love and praise of his teachers and friends only increased, not decreased. Surprisingly, the story that Gujan told gradually matched my memories. In high school, every school had notable people gossiped about by girls. The most talked about person in my school was the class president. The class monitor of the 7th grade had just won first place in a competition and was even stopped by someone to confess his love. I was a sloppy student, only interested in physics. I had no interest in people who were always the center of attention. I had heard a lot, but to be honest, I couldn't even remember their faces. One time when I was riding the bus, I saw a pervert trying to seduce a female student. I clenched my fist, intending to speak up to stop him. Suddenly, someone was faster than me, kicked the pervert to the ground, looking like a car jacking a truck, but everyone said that the other person was the bad guy and tried to defend the pervert. I wanted to tell the truth, but the young man's face was red. He quickly pushed the bus door open and jumped out. After that, the pervert even came to school to make a fuss. The bad guy had to be punished. Good people couldn't be wronged. With that in mind, I went to the police station to report the case, but the police didn't want to take it. I understood that the girl who was harassed didn't want to suffer any more pain. So I had to tell the police I was harassed on the bus. Please check the surveillance camera and punish that bad guy. Bus route 05, time 7:04 a.m. this Wednesday. After reviewing the surveillance camera, the pervert was convicted. The rumor that I was harassed also spread throughout the school. I finally understood what the girl was really afraid of, but I didn't regret it. If there was a next time, I would still do the same. Gujan's low voice echoed in the darkness. He went to the police station to ask why they suddenly extracted the surveillance camera. Then on the incident report, he saw your photo and name. He asked your class. When he came to find you, he heard your classmates say that someone called you to the rooftop. He ran up to the rooftop and saw you hanging from the railing. When they saw him, they thought he was there to inspect the discipline and ran away in all directions. You fainted. He took you to the school infirmary and then came back to give those bastards a beating. But when he came back again, you were no longer there. He went to your classroom door every day to ask. Then they told him you had transferred schools. Gujan opened the sealed black bag. Inside was a neatly torn piece of paper. The girl in the photo had her hair tied in a high ponytail and was smiling brightly. Below the portrait was a line of words. Don't be afraid. The truth is always hard to find, but there will always be someone by your side. I suddenly remembered that this was a photo of the words I wrote when I won first prize in physics in the Tang Hoi High School exam, which was displayed on the school bulletin board. At that time, I only wished to become a physicist, longing to conquer the peaks in this field like my predecessors. He broke the glass of the bulletin board and tore down your photo. The moment the glass shattered, he felt extremely comfortable. It seemed that all the judgments, expectations, and shackles that bound him had disappeared. He wanted to live a life true to himself. The bullies on the rooftop, he beat them up every time he encountered them. One of them spoke ill of you and ended up with a broken rib. He was expelled from school. His parents sent him abroad. While abroad, he saw your advertisement, so right after graduating, he returned home and joined the entertainment industry. Because he wanted to tell you himself, "Thank you, classmate Luke, because I have always dreamed of being by your side in the future." Too much information rushed in, making me dizzy, my head spinning. The elevator suddenly plunged down and I fell into Gujan's arms again. When the elevator stopped, I could clearly hear my heart pounding. In the darkness, I saw streaks of colorful clouds dyeing the surrounding space red. I wanted to say something to drown out the sound of my heart beating. The elevator descended so fast. Ha ha ha. I couldn't help but want to slap myself. Gujan grabbed my hand and placed it on his chest, and his heart beat even faster. "Because of you." I tiptoed to kiss him, touched him lightly, and then quickly pulled away. Gujan's eyes lit up. He suddenly hugged my waist tightly, pressed me against the silver-gray elevator wall, and gave me a deep kiss. The elevator lights suddenly turned on, exposing this kiss to the light. Gujan had a hard time pulling away, his nose rubbing against mine. He used his thumb to wipe away the water on my lips. "I like you." The comments exploded. "Everyone. Does anyone understand?" I flew up to heaven. When people turned off the lights, I turned them on. He was truly the new Edison. Hoo. Jing Jing is so brave. Jing Jing deserves all the best things in life. It turns out that if it weren't for Jing Jing, Zhanggu wouldn't have been able to become a rapper. Don't be afraid, no matter how hard it is to find the truth, there will always be someone to accompany you. Turns out that Jing Jing said that. Now I'm crying. The comments kept coming. "Thank you so much, classmate Lou." The live broadcast was still going on. The actual theme of this episode was the elevator out of control accident. The other couples were stuck in the elevator, didn't bring their phones, and were waiting dejectedly for the elevator to be repaired. Only we seriously confessed our feelings to each other. The show had a good ending. Right after the show ended, our names, the participants, covered the hot search rankings. The truth about Gujan's bullying at school was revealed. The information about the older man who had harassed the female students was exposed. And many girls recalled and said that they had been harassed on the number 05 bus in the city. The male student whose ribs Gujan had broken when he grew up had to go to jail for participating in a large-scale fraud. The girl who didn't have the courage to stand up back then now shared her thoughts online, expressing her gratitude to me and Gujan. In addition, Lin Yunyun's assistant released a video exposing Lin Yunyun's true colors. Lin Yunyun was lying on the makeup chair, asking the assistant to put on her socks. As soon as the assistant bent down to lift her legs, she kicked the assistant's hand and said that she was freezing to death. Then she tucked her feet into the assistant's collar to warm herself up, acting like a devil, completely opposite to her innocent, pure and kind image in front of the camera. As soon as the video was released, Lin Yunyun hurriedly wrote a handwritten apology letter. But netizens discovered the spelling mistakes and ridiculed her for being two-faced. She could only temporarily hide from the public and would not appear in public for a short time. Song Simon was in even bigger trouble. He was exposed for buying sex in Southeast Asia. And what's more, it was buying sex from men. He actually didn't like women, and because he was afraid of being discovered, he tried to show off his manhood over and over again. Those who had shipped the Minion couple all felt like they had swallowed something. As soon as this illegal incident was exposed, Song Simon was immediately banned from the air. Netizens couldn't help but exclaim that if this information had been revealed a day or two earlier, the suspension bridge effect might not have been able to air smoothly until the final episode. The night before I flew to Sanya to film a commercial for an international brand, I was so excited that I couldn't sleep and turned on my phone. It was a message from Brother Zhao. He said that I had been lucky lately, so he was very idle. He sent a sticker of the Journey to the West version of Guanyin Bodhisattva with the question, What do you think about how we're still a couple after all these years? I chimed in. Why is that? Brother Zhao sent a mysterious Buddha sticker because he brought me to ask for a love charm. Do you know what nice things I said to you in front of Bodhisattva? You two are not destined to be together. It's all thanks to my sweet mouth. I almost replied that we clearly went to Shaolin Temple. But never mind. After finishing with Cousin True, I surfed the super talk show Kin Cham. In the past few days, Kin Tram's fans were in a frenzy. A fan painstakingly compiled the moments when Ko Tram and I hugged each other in each episode of the Climbing Bridge Effect. Below were the captions. They hugged each other in a haunted house, kissed each other in a ball pool, confessed their feelings in a dark elevator. The love of youth defied all rumors, overcame all difficulties. Today, he could finally openly hug her. I was about to press like when Ko Tram suddenly turned around and hugged me tightly, turning off the phone. He kissed me lightly on the ear, his voice still sleepy. Go to sleep, I have to fly to Sanya tomorrow to film. I moved, I wasn't sleepy yet. He held my leg and hugged me tighter. Really? Then let's do something? I immediately hid under the blanket. I was sleepy. So sleepy. Half a year after we met, I finally agreed to meet Gujan's parents. Gujan picked me up at home and went out for lunch together. I went into the dressing room, thinking that since it was the first time I met his parents, I should dress up a bit more appropriately. Gujan followed me in. I was changing. What am I doing here? He smiled mischievously, staring at me, watching me change. This guy was really shameless. I couldn't resist, so I had to turn around to change. Suddenly, he came from behind, his hands tightly holding the backs of my hands, pressing both of my hands against the wall. I couldn't move. In this awkward position, I felt him lower his head to my back, his hot breath rushing against the back of my neck. He whispered, his voice hoarse, "Baby, in the haunted house." All I could think about was this. "Pervert, I'll curse you lovingly." He laughed shakily, leaned closer to me and asked, "Do you want to hear more perverted stories?" Because of that hateful guy, I ended up drenched in sweat, couldn't even change my clothes, and had to take a shower again. While I was taking a shower, he even teased me. After everything was cleaned up, it was almost dark. In short, I was completely late for my happy hour. I leaned lazily against the sofa, looking like I was in a deep sleep. Regardless of how his parents scolded me on the other end of the line, he just smiled and nodded in agreement. Finally, his aunt said, "Did you hit your head this afternoon? It's okay if you don't eat, but you can't let Kin starve." He smiled and replied, "Of course, Mom." His aunt said again, "Did you really hit your head? After you finish eating with Jing, take a taxi to the hospital to get checked out yourself." He turned off the engine, saw me coming, smiled and hugged me. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, darkness was gradually falling. The colorful clouds were burning like flames in the sky. You didn't just listen, you lived the story. If it touched your heart, hit subscribe and join Emma Audiobook. Because real emotions are just getting started.